Hello everybody, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited that I get to participate in the 31 Days of Halloween Spooktakular video hop. This is so much fun. 31 days, 31 crafters, and 31 different videos. So hopefully you are getting inspired along the way. If you are not hopping along, play catch up because we are on day 13 today. And if that, in and of itself, is not spooky enough, I realized the other day that I fell on day 13. So I'm going to make 2 card projects today. And I'm just going to pull out some products that I have had around me in my stash, sitting there and just waiting to get some love. So I'm going to talk you through that, but I'm not quite sure if any of these things are still available. I will try to find them if you're interested in the products, but the focus here today is me using up my stuff and having just a good time making these cards. And hopefully you can hear that in my voice because I really love Halloween and I love making Halloween cards. I just don't make a lot of time for it. So super excited. We're going to move on. I got this stencil, I want to say at a craft store years ago because I thought it was cool. Maybe I got it online. I have no idea, but I really love it and I've never used it. Probably had it for about 3 years. So I used some of that Tattered Angel spray and I just sprayed over the stencil. I'm taking Distress Oxide and I'm going to give it that distressed look on the edges. I'm going to go back in with some black after this. But the one thing that I wanted to point out along the way about this stencil and spray technique is I didn't realize when you have intricate stencils like this where there's kind of pieces that are popping up everywhere and it's not a flat stencil, I would highly recommend the Pixie Spray. So I have not given my full endorsement yet on the Pixie Spray, and I'm about to because I've been using it for the last couple weeks waiting to see what it's all about and if it's good, and I would have to say it is. When you have that spray on the back of it, it's going to hold down, because here I put the spray on. The first time I did not. This time I did. But do you see like where the tree is and where the spooky, what is that, a church? I don't even know what that is. That house. Those little pieces coming up. If you don't have something to hold that down, when you're ink blending, it's going to pick up with your brush. Well, with the Pixie Spray, it does not do that. So I was really impressed. I think this is kind of what launched me into, yeah, that's a good product. So, yeah, if you are on the fence about it and you're interested, I would say particularly for that reason. Also, it just makes stenciling go faster. Moving on from Pixie, I am taking these 3 colors and look at this result. So I did a clean and simple or more clean version of this stencil usage, and I did the spray because I really wanted to get sort of that mixed media fun. Now, let me tell you about this tree here. I think this is from Echo Park. I got this on sale a couple years ago, and I literally have moved this tree around my craft room from place to place to place because I cannot bring myself to throw it away. I was like, I'm just not using it. Nope, one day you will use this, Mary. That's what I keep telling myself. And lo and behold, that day has arrived. So I pulled it out and I used the same 2 colors of Distress ink on it. And that's going to be sort of a focal point in the front. I did want it more black though, because I wanted it to really stand out and pop on the front of that. So you could just die cut this if you have something similar to this in a black cardstock and save yourself a whole bunch of ink blending. But I die cut it in white, and so I wanted to make sure that I used it for its purpose for my card. Moving on to a very old stamp set. I had to unmount from a wood block set about a year ago, but I've had this stamp set for years. I believe it's from Stampin' Up, and I pulled out this spooky. And I just am adding that to the card. These cards are extremely easy to do. I think I was very much interested in how I can get 2 very different looks with one stencil and keep it simple. I can send these to anybody. I think these are super fun. But I don't use a lot of embellishments. You absolutely can. There's so many things you can add to this. You can add to the tree. You could highlight the birds or the bats in the sky. There's so much you can do. I am keeping it simple because that's just what was calling to me when I was making the cards. I'm going to use some art glitter glue to put down my tree. This is a very flat card, which I'm interested in as well because a lot of my cards lately have had a lot of dimension. I'm going to add a little bit to the front of this card. So I'm taking out an Arteza Everblend marker, and this one is the A759, very, very dark brown. And I am just going to make some flick lines at the bottom of this card panel. And the reason I'm doing that is because I feel like it adds a little bit of something, almost like a dimensional effect to the front of the card, and kind of completes the scene. And then I am going to leave the one on the right with the ink blended background. I'm going to leave it alone. So that's basically all we're going to do. I think what would be fun too, just throwing that out there, to try that ink blended one on some black cardstock with the Distress Oxide, because Distress is opaque, so it should show up pretty well. So then you have the rest of it black. Anyway, give it a shot if you have something similar to this. Thank you so much for stopping by and for joining us along this hop. It's a unique setup for a hop because it's every day, so it's spread out throughout the month of October. Hop along, catch up, so many great artists and so many cards to inspire you. I'll list what I used below. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we will see you all in the next video. Have a great week. Bye-bye.